All right, I'm so excited because I'm here with Maria. We are doing a part 2 of our first chat. But let me tell you something. If you didn't see the first talk, I highly recommend you watch it.
It's pretty funny.
I learned so much about this woman that I did not know, including about her stint on The Flavor of Love. We're not going to get into that right now. I'm just letting you know there's a lot of information here. But what's fascinating is that she has transformed her life because she went from making $22,000 a year, maybe less than that, but somewhere around there, $22,000 a year as a flight attendant, and now has over $1.4 million in sales for a business that she started with her partner. So this woman knows about building a business. So what she's going to talk about now is some tips.
You know what, though?
Yes.
The money that was made in sales over the phone, it was made in $268 increments. Because that's something to know. Some people, they can sell a product that's $1,000. And so, it was $268 each transaction. Do you know how many transactions you have to do?
That she has hustled.
There's a lot of transactions. And so I don't want people to feel like, oh, it's unobtainable because their product is $10.
Right.
It's just more transactions, but you can do it.
You can do it. So we're going to talk about if you're at home. So maybe you already have a business that you started. Maybe it is smaller transactions. Or maybe you're just like, maybe you're a flight attendant like she was, and you're looking for a way out. Either way, there's some practical things you can do and remember, because a lot of it, I think, too, is about a mindset. Because if you feel stuck, you're going to be stuck. So it's about getting unstuck, getting out of your way. And I think one big thing that I want to talk about, which I think is really essential for being an entrepreneur, is uncertainty.
Yeah.
I think that one thing, because in our other chat too, you mentioned kind of the difference between employees and people who are entrepreneurs or entrepreneurial. And I think that one thing that you reference is being risk averse.
Yeah.
And if you need to know every week I'm going to get $500 at, 7-Eleven, that's fine. But entrepreneurship really isn't usually that reliable, right? You've had, I'm sure.
And what they need to really do before they even branch out, because everyone's living paycheck to paycheck, and I used to live paycheck to paycheck. Now, whenever I want to do things, I think, how many customers do I need to assign to do that? I wanted to get dental implants. Okay, it costs this amount. Divide that by 268, or not even that, just whatever the profit margin is on whatever I'm selling. Okay, I need to sell 20 units, I need to sell 50 units or 100 units, and then I can get that. But before people jump out and before people feel like, oh my gosh, but I have to have this money coming in, they first need to realize what their burn rate is. So many people wake up every day, and before they start spending money, there's already a cost to waking up.
Right.
Take whatever your fixed expenses are for the month.
So burn rate, your rent, your electricity, your car,
food, insurance, entertainment. Get all, and everyone talks about that, but they don't really know their number. I'm embarrassed to say our number used to be very high because we were burning $10,000 a month just living and traveling. But we at least knew what that number was. And if you calculate it and do it on a daily basis, okay, every day before I even walk out the house, I've spent $72.
Right.
Because it cost me $72 to do what I need to do over the next 30 days. And if you start thinking about that, then you look at areas in your life, because everyone's always like, let's just chop down. We think make more. A lot of people, they go without cable, and they go without things that they need. Like, I need my monthly wax appointment. If I don't have that, I'm not a good person. I'm not. So figure
just
out.
a hairy monster.
Yeah, basically. So you have to figure out, okay, yes, there are some things you can chop out of the equation, but figure out what is your burn rate. Once you know what your burn rate is, figure out what your runway is. And so maybe if you're burning, $4,000 a month.
I love that. All these things. It's like I feel like you're still a flight attendant, which you are, I guess. But we're at the runway. Like, are we flying somewhere? Where are we going?
How far can you go before you're done?
Okay, I get it.
You got it. So
a lot of people, they're off the runway then before the end of the month.
Yeah.
A lot of people are in the negative.
They've got a week left. And so you have to figure out what your burn rate is, then your runway, and then you can decide, okay, do I continue with leaving my job and quitting my job, or do I stay where I'm at? Like, a lot of people, they really need to plan.
And it definitely takes planning. Like, if you want to quit your job, if you're thinking about quitting your job, a lot of us have quit ours. I've quit mine. But it's definitely essential to have a plan. If you don't, you're going to have some anxiety, likely at some point. And there are also a lot of businesses that you can set up before you need to leave your job.
Absolutely, and create that gap income. A lot of people, I don't like this word, but I'm going to use it. I'm going to use the word. Permission to use the word?
You can use any words you like.
I'm going to throw some shade. Shade is the word. It's like, oh, what does that mean? So a lot of people throw shade at the network marketing companies or affiliate marketing because they're like, oh, I don't want to be categorized. But it's gap income, and it doesn't require all of your time. You know, a lot of people sell their time at $8 an hour or $10 an hour. Man, you're undercutting yourself. So you have to give away 10 of your hours, your precious hours, just to get $80. Now,
when you really look at it that way,
$80, what else could you have done in 10 hours?
Yeah.
That could have produced $80 or more.
But by the way, if you're in that situation and you're stuck and you don't know how to get out, I think the key is the hours that you are not at work to make the most of them.
Absolutely. Don't leave. Keep, if you're getting $80,
that $80,
keep it.
Right. We're not saying,
Don't,
we're not knocking the $80.
Because we still got a light bill to pay tomorrow, and the bills come knocking. They don't stop just because you're transitioning.
It's like, it's about thinking about that.
Put a plan together.
Absolutely.
Plan.
There are a lot of jobs. Even, by the way, YouTube is a huge resource.
Absolutely.
So I post on YouTube. This is free content, right? There's no charge for this talk. She has invested years to build her knowledge base. You know, I've invested years of traveling and working as a news reporter.
Years traveling.
Working as a news reporter, you know, to get experience to do interviews to give you guys, but all of this is free. YouTube has so much information. So if you did want to start a business that's about Amazon, FBA, if you don't know what that is, you can look it up. It's the way that a lot of people here are making money, selling things online. But there are so many different ways that people can make money online, and it's not so difficult.
It's not.
It's difficult in the sense that it's new. So you have to wrap your head around something that could be totally foreign.
Like going from Windows to Apple.
Absolutely, that's true.
That was a tough transition for me, by the way.
How was it?
I didn't like it going to Apple, but now you can't get me. I'm looking at these Windows computers, and I'm just,
I used to be totally on Windows. I started a new job, and they were like, "Do you know Apple?" I was like, "Mm-hmm."
Yep, I sure do.
I didn't know.
Learning it tonight.
I just opened that thing. I was like, so I guess I'm clicking somewhere.
We're going
you figure it out.
that way.
So like new jobs, a new MacBook that you don't know how to use, whatever, you can figure it out because. Also, don't undercut your own intelligence. A lot of us are so bright, but maybe you had some teachers tell you weren't bright, or maybe you think you can't do that. Friends, don't worry about it. Whatever it is, you honestly can figure it out. None of this stuff is rocket science. I promise you, the people who are out here doing Amazon, FBA, they're not geniuses. They've just figured some things out. And that's true for most jobs.
They just need to put what the goal is and not the $1 million, you know. Hey, if my goal is to get to $2,000 a month in income with being location independent, okay, $2,000 at the top of the paper. Where are we at now? And here's the gap. What could I do in my spare time that I'm not allocated to my corporate job or whatever job you have? In those hours, try to get something going.
Right.
Start your training, because you may not start selling immediately. You're going to start learning. So figure out how to throw up landing pages or explore other opportunities that allow you to work remotely. And then maybe that gets you to $1,500. But now, look what you did. You bought your time back, because now you're not stuck in New York or whatever city you live in. You're not stuck there. Now you can work from home.
Even I'm going to throw out another hustle, which is
good. 1, 2, 3, boom.
Teaching English online, especially people who are native English speakers, there are so many places, and you can get up to $20 an hour.
Yes, you can.
Just for teaching English online. You speak English, don't you? I know some of you who are watching this, you speak English. That means you could teach it, and that's more than these like crappy sort of jobs that are just $8 an hour, $10 an hour. And that's a job that a lot of people who are traveling do to be location independent, because you can do that from anywhere. As long as you have strong Wi-Fi, by the way. Don't have a weak Wi-Fi signal and try to do this. You will definitely get fired.
Pay the extra $100. It's worth it.
So if you have a strong Wi-Fi signal. So I'm just saying there are a lot of different things that you can do that aren't rocket science, right? That
also,
aren't super complicated.
Change your friends and change the people you hang out with, because maybe the group that you're hanging out with, they don't want to leave the comfort of the neighborhood. They want their kids to go to that school. Their kids will raise kids in that school. They just no. Change your friends. So always try to be, I won't say the dumbest person in the room, but never strive to be the smartest person in the room, because now you don't leave any opportunity for growth. If you have friends that are traveling, or you know people that are traveling, model that behavior. As long as it's legal, ethical, and moral.
Absolutely.
Model that, because
they're going to give you travel friend advice.
Yes.
Like if all your friends are staying at home broke and just spending their money on like shoes,
turning up on the weekends.
Yeah, they're spending their money on alcohol and shoes. That's what you're going to be encouraged to do as well. But if you have friends who are successful, who are saving money, who are traveling overseas, who are building centers in Chiang Mai, you're going to be encouraged to do something a little bit better for yourself.
Yeah.
It's
So,
just natural.
Figure out the burn rate, figure out your runway, how long do you have to go, make the transition.
Right. So when you say burn, I also want to make sure people are understanding. Figure out your expenses. Another way to say it, how much you're spending.
Your fixed expenses plus your variable expenses. Put it all together and figure out how much money are you spending each month. I'm trying not to use burn in it.
Yeah.
So how much of your little green soldiers, if you're in the US, your little green soldiers, your dollars, are you giving away every month versus what you're bringing in?
Another thing I want to add about that and about money and kind of how people think of it is that I feel like when you grow up, I grew up in West Philadelphia. And when
Born and raised. Sorry, I had to do it.
Me and Will Smith, that's right. So I grew up in West Philadelphia. And, sometimes when you're in the hood, sometimes people view prosperity as the things that you have. Also, even sometimes in the suburbs, the things are different, right? Maybe in the hood, it's your Jordans, and that stuff. Maybe if you're in the suburbs, it's your Tesla. Or your Mercedes, right?
Your
same
yacht,
thing. By the way,
stuff.
your yacht. It's all the same thing, just different categories of stuff. But the thing is, all that stuff that you buy to prove that you have money is really counterintuitive, because once you buy it, you don't have that money.
You don't. Like, the more stuff you have, I just look at the more debt. So like when I see people driving new cars, like, ooh, they don't have as much cash. Like, I like to be cash heavy.
And it's like, I'd rather have experiences.
Liquidity.
Like liquidity can give you some comfort. And also traveling and experiencing going places is a very rich thing to do.
It's so rich.
Personally rich, not financially rich.
Yeah.
But it's like accumulating all these things and these outward signs of success. It's like, who are we doing that for? Who are we trying to impress, actually?
Many people often post, their stats, how much money they're making, how much traffic they have coming. And I find that I don't find that very genuine at all. A lot of people who are posting about making $20,000 a month or $15,000 a month, or even, $10,000 passively, right? Passive. I've never made any passive income. I've worked for all of it, which means I spend it differently because it was harder to get. But I don't find that style of sharing to be very genuine. It's more flaunting what they have, because I often find that those people are not teaching any skills or showing people that it's a repeatable, scalable model. I did it, you can do it too. No, not necessarily. Show us how you did it.
Right.
Teach us the strategies you're using. And so don't always go to the person that you see consistently posting, I just made $15,000, $20,000. Look at me. Teach me. Because I find more value in the education, because if you show me how to use this camera so that I can one day make a video and put it on YouTube, that's more valuable than you showing, look how much money I made on my channel.
Right.
Show me what you're doing, because if I'm going to go from having my job, living at home, working the regular life, to traveling, working location independent, being an entrepreneur, I want to know, how did you lead? Because everyone's talking about being here, but no one talks about the process.
That's true.
That process is important.
The journey is what I want to help you guys on. The journey to get there is definitely the crucial part, right?
Yeah.
Once you're successful,
your challenges are so different.
Yeah.
Like, I use this example. It's not a good one I should use anymore. But with Donald Trump, he was doing a lot of real estate, conferences, and everyone is going to his conferences trying to understand how to do what he does, how to buy these big buildings and license his name and stuff. And I feel bad for, the Joe Schmoes or the next door neighbors who are going to these, because his level is so much higher. Like the challenges he has, we won't even reach those challenges from. How do we get from the $5,000 that I saved up to be able to get my first home so that I can resell that and hopefully make a profit and then go back to the table with $15,000 or $20,000.
Right.
We often look for the millionaires and the billionaires, and we skip over the people that work for themselves and maybe they only made $30,000 in profit that year. I'll take that $30,000 that you made in profit a year. For me, it's stronger than the person that made the millions, because see, you're closer to my situation. So if I can go from making nothing on my own, like $0 this year on my own, to learning from someone that made $30,000 on their own, I could learn because you understand what I'm going through and we can relate. Whereas you got the millionaire person over here, they don't know the struggles you're going through. They don't know the decisions you have to make in your life to get to that point.
It's true. So when you look at mentors and when you're choosing one, if you choose one, I think it is important to think about that. Like, is this person relatable? Does this person have practical tools that can help you where you are? But to be honest, if you're starting out, I wouldn't really even spend a lot of money on some kind of fancy something right away, because really there are so many skills that you can really get for free. I would say figure out what you want to do first. Once you know what you want to do and you're committed to a path, then absolutely, there's some amazing courses that you can pay for. People have some amazing skills. People who are making money online, who are doing things that you can learn from. You can pay to come to like a center, like here, the Entrepreneurship Center in Chiang Mai. Those things are valuable investments once you have a trajectory. But if you don't have a trajectory, don't waste your time or your money on just sort of trying a bunch of things. Figure out what you want to do. Figure out what you feel like you can be good at, and then stick with it. Because the other big part of this is commitment and sticking with something. Because if you're planning to just start a business and, be balling in like a month and a half and 6 months, it might not go that way, and you can easily burn yourself out and get disappointed. But if you look at it as a transition, as a life shift, it's almost like losing weight. Right? I think it's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's a process, right? So if you've spent years just having jobs that aren't super fulfilling, I think same concept. Just don't expect it overnight. Boom, magic light on. But it's a transition. It's a process. But it's one that you can do. And I'm here to help support you in this process. So I'm going to have more chats coming up with people, giving you more tips and things that you can do, more inspiration, because you know what? There are a lot of people out there who have changed their life. And I want you to see that. People from all different walks of life, from different cities, different countries, who are doing this. And you can be one of them. Maybe at some point, I'll be interviewing you about your journey from being at home to being here. So I hope you enjoyed this chat. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. This has been so great. This has been so cool.
I really enjoyed it.
So much fun.
I hope you enjoyed it as well. Feel free to like and share this video. And if you want to help me in the supporting and the making of these videos, you can join my Patreon team. I post exclusive content there, videos every week, and I have a monthly giveaway. It's a good time, so I'd love it if you signed up for that as well. That's it.
That's all, folks.
That's all.